Today's video is all about my college experience. So I hope you guys enjoy and let's get started. So if you have not followed me on any social media, go ahead and click the links down below. I do a lot of polls on social media, and this is my way of interacting with you guys and kind of knowing what you guys want to see. So I did a poll of which video you wanted to see, and the college experience won. So this is what today's video is. If you're not already and would like to be subscribed, don't forget to push the notification bell, and so you will be notified when I upload new videos. And also, all of my links for my socials again will be down below. So this is a very interesting topic for me, and I've talked a little bit, like I've barely scratched the surface of my college experience. But I'm going to go into more detail. This might be a long video. We'll kind of see how it goes. I'm going to talk about certain experiences in the schools that I went to and that kind of thing. So let's just go ahead and get started. I've been to 3 schools in the last 10 years. I'm 28, going on 29 in December. If you're new here, hi, how you doing? I went to one school in Kansas, where I'm from, and then I've been to one school in San Francisco, where I live, and I'm currently an online full-time student, which we'll get into at the end of the video. So my college experience was interesting. College is an interesting atmosphere, and they don't really prepare you for this in high school. I grew up in a very small town of 1,500 people. Everybody knew everybody. And there was really no competition in certain things because we were a small school. And so for my first school, I went to college. I'm not going to name the schools for privacy reasons, but I went to a small community college, and I majored in music performance, and I had a minor in music education. If you're new to my channel, I am obsessed with music. I always have been. I'm a flautist. I've been playing flute for many years. And I went to all sorts of competitions when I was in high school and middle school, and music was my life. That was my thing. Music was my life. That was my passion in life, and that's what I knew I wanted to do when I was getting older. So I went to school. I had a full ride, didn't pay nothing. The only thing I had to pay for was for my dorm for the year. And so I was really excited, and not a lot of people get that opportunity of a full ride scholarship. Like, not a lot of people have that experience. So I was very fortunate, and I was very happy. So I move into my dorm, I get my schedule, I'm super excited. My first semester was all my prereq, because I was not allowed to take the SATs, which is a whole new video. And so I had to do my prereqs first, and then the second semester I had 2 classes of music my first semester, but it was very basic. It was a very basic one. Plus, I was in concert band, jazz band, vocal, and all sorts of other music classes that are required for music education and all sorts of things. So I had a really busy schedule, and I think I was taking like 12 credits that semester. And I was super pumped. You know, I love school. I never did not like school, but college is very different, and they don't prep you for this in high school. So I wasn't fully prepared for what I was getting myself into, but I knew this is something that I really wanted to do. So my first semester, I lived in it's like a cubicle like thing. There was 6 roommates to this place, and then there was obviously community shower and little kitchenette area. And my roommate was really cool. I vibed with everybody in my little cubicle. And so I went to class, super excited. I had math and this and that, whatever was required for the program. And so my first semester, or first, I want to say quarter, because it was a quarter of the semester, I was doing really, 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 really well. But I got into the party scene very early in my college career, and it hurt me a lot. I mean, it hit me hard. So when I got into that scene, I was missing classes. I would make excuses why I wasn't there, and I was a hot mess. So but I was always in my music classes. It was the prereqs that I wasn't too excited for, but I was always in music class because that was my thing, you know? So I I snapped myself out somehow, and I was going to all my classes. I had to retake a couple, and I was doing really, really well. And then I had a personal thing happen, and it all went to hell again. And then I went home for Christmas, and I came back, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm very fortunate that I was able to get a full ride. I'm going to, do my best. So I got my head out my butt and I started going back to class. And I loved music class and I was doing it. I was doing my thing. And then something really tragic to me happened. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I went through a very traumatic situation in this school and it changed my life forever. And um, it wasn't just that incident. So the professor that actually runs the music program. I don't know if he's still there, but he was on sabbatical and he was getting his PhD. And so we had a substitute professor. He was amazing. I loved him so much. He was so nice, and he just he was probably the best professor I've had through my college career. And so when this professor came back after his sabbatical, he was super hateful and rude to the students. Not only just me, but he was just rude. And we had a couple of incidences. So the first incident was there was a piece that we were playing for a spring concert that I had already played at my high school. And I had already played the flute solo, so I didn't really need to work on it, but I had to work on it, you know what I mean? Like to just fine tune everything. So I did the audition, and he flat out told me that I was not good enough, and I would embarrass my section, so I wasn't going to get the part. And I was highly offended, but I grew to get over it, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I left. There was nothing else to say. He had already made his mind up, and he had already chose the person he wanted to play the solo, so there was nothing I could do. So if you've never been part of a music program, you do a lot of practicing. And when I was there, you had every instrument, you had a certain amount you had to practice. Not only was I playing the flute, but I had to learn piano, and there was one other instrument that I was playing. So it was a lot of practice. And I was in pep band, concert band, jazz band, vocal. I was in all of these things, and it was a lot of practicing involved. So at the end of each semester, you were required to perform a solo, duet, or trio. You are being judged on this. You will be asked questions, and you will be asked to play a scale. And so there's a lot of prep involved in this, and it's very nerve-wracking. And so I was practicing with that, and I was practicing for my concert band. I was practicing this, practicing that, a lot of practicing. So I was practicing one day, and I was practicing this really hard piece that we were playing for the spring concert, and there was a certain little section, I think it was like 3 measures long, and it was super difficult because on flute, it's just your hands are in awkward positions, and it's a hard instrument to play. So I was practicing it, and I was getting everything but like one run of eighth notes, and I hear a knock on the practice door, and I'm like, what? Usually if a student is in the practice room, nobody bothers the student because they know that they're in there for practicing. So I was practicing, and I was like, what? So I opened the door, and I'm like, yeah. Well, it was the professor. He had walked through the hallway, and he was hearing me practice, and he's like, you should just stop because you're not good enough. And I looked at him, and I was very shocked. I've never been told this ever. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, just stop. You just stop. Just go home. It's not worth it for me. You're not gonna make it. And I just kind of looked, and I was like, whatever. So I just shut the door, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I continued to play. And then the next day, I go into his office. I was really upset, and I was highly offended. And so I go into his office before class, and I'm like, dude, is there an issue with me? Like, did I offend you? Did I upset you? Like, why would you come in and be disrespectful to me? And he goes, I'm tired of small town kids thinking that they're better than everybody and they don't have to work for anything. And I looked at him, And I was silent for a couple minutes, and I just kind of looked at him. I'm like, excuse me? I've had to work harder than anybody here because I don't have the competition experience because of where I'm from. So I've had to work harder than anybody. So I have to work just as hard to prove that I can do this to myself and to you. So I don't understand the issue. Well, he kept going on and on. It didn't make sense as to what the problem was. So I was just like, I'm going to go to class because you're really upsetting me. So I went to class, and, did my thing. And then he said that I was wasting my time. And I said, no, you're wasting my time. And I quit. I quit the band. I quit everything in music. And I went to just general studies because he was so hateful to me. He ruined my love for music. He ruined my love for everything. And I couldn't do it. So I just went to general studies. And then with this incident that happened to me, I was forced to withdraw school because of this situation, and I was not able to finish the school year. I had to pack up all my stuff and I had to leave. And now looking back at it, I obviously was the worst student ever, and I've never been like that. I took pride in my grades and my academics, and that year I didn't. I don't know what happened, but I lost all control, and I have learned from that, and there was just so much that went on that year. It was terrible. So that next year I moved to San Francisco, where I'm at now, and I waited about 2.5 years because at first I was like, I don't want to go to school, like I don't want nothing to do with it. And then I was talking to my husband, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna get a degree of some sort. So I saw a advertisement on TV of a private school. I was like, okay, cool. They, had all sorts of things that you can major in. And I went in for paralegal, but I didn't stay as paralegal because, again, my counselor / teacher, he was super rude. His class was just way too hard. He was not willing to work with me. He wasn't willing to just, be a professor. He was being super rude. And if he knew anything about you personally, he took it out on you in front of everybody in the classroom. If you failed a test, he made fun of you for it. Like, he was super hateful, super rude. And I told the dean, I said, I'm not doing this. I'm going to transfer to a different class because I can't deal with his attitude. So something you have to know about me, when I was growing up, I never stood up for myself, and I never said anything if I got upset. Usually if something was addressed, it's because I bottled it up so long that it just finally had come out. But I don't do that anymore. Like, if I don't like the situation, I'm going to tell you. If I don't like your actions, I'm gonna call you out on it. I don't have time to be like that, you know what I mean? So I went to the school. I was there for 2 years. I went in as a paralegal major, but I actually changed my program to medical office administration, and I was doing really, really well. But then obviously there were 2 professors that should not be teachers. One of them was for my Excel class. He was super hateful. My dad had got real ill, and we had a family scare. So I had to leave like that next day, and I told him, I emailed all my teachers, and I said, hey, I have a family emergency. I'm going to have to leave the state. I don't know when I'm going to be back. Just email me my assignments, and I will email you my assignments, or I will give you everything when I get back. This teacher didn't even know I was gone. Like, he had to take roll call every day. We had to sign in, and he didn't even care that I wasn't there. I hate Excel as it is. Like, I've had to take it in my current class. I hate it. I hate Excel. But anyways, so then I had it with him, and I just did the course and moved on. And then I had another teacher. She was also super rude, and she had no sense of common courtesy to anybody, and I hated her too. Hate's a strong word, and I don't like using it often, but that's how I felt about her. And then unfortunately I took a year off, and I came back, and that year I was 6 months from my final year, and the school got shut down. I went to school one day, and there was no school to go to, so that got shut down. I'm not going to get into it why. I'm not going to get into what school it was, but my school shut down, and I shut down because I'm like, well, damn. I had worked really hard, and it didn't seem to do anything. So I waited. See, that was 2014 when it 2016, 2014, 2015, somewhere in there, the school shut down and I was done for a while. And I was like, well, I want to go to school, but I don't know what. And I took some time off. So when I was in Kansas, I was talking to a lot of my ex-coworkers, and I decided to go in. I wanted to be a biller and coder for insurance. And so my schedule where I was working at the hospital, there was no way I could go to school and work. I was working way too much to be able to go to school, and it would have stressed me out. So I was like, you know what, if I ever move back to San Francisco, or if my schedule ever kind of calmed down, I wanted to go to school. So when I moved back here last year, actually this month it'll be a year, I decided, you know what, no, I'm going to go back to school. And I love school, I love everything about it. So I'm currently going to pennfoster, and I'm going to school for medical billing and coding. I have linked in another video, I will link their website down below if you are interested. If typical college classes or courses or campus life is just not your thing and you want to work and go to school, this is a great alternative. pennfoster is an amazing school. Obviously they're accredited, that you can transfer credits. It's just an online community that I'm very proud to be a part of, and they have helped me out with my academic confidence, because I'm very self-conscious academically because of my schooling and because of my past. And I'm 4 classes away from graduation, and I'm super excited, and I've been working really hard. But you know, traditional classes are just not my thing. And I thought for the longest time I was hell-bent on going to campus, and that's just not realistic for me right now. I have a lot going on personally behind the scenes, and I don't have time to sit in a class for 3 hours. Like, it's just not possible. Going to school, I can do the school on my phone. I can read a chapter. Like, when I was working, I was reading chapters, studying, you know, flashcards. I was always doing something for school because I can. It's on my time. I have a full year to complete the program, and I'm going to hopefully be done in the next 3 or 4 months. And I'm just super, super excited. So my first 2 college experiences were not easy. They were not good. They were not good experiences. But this school, I was like, I'm going to give it one more chance. One more chance. And if this doesn't work, I'm done. You know what I mean? Then it wasn't meant to be. But this school gave me the confidence back. They don't sit here and judge you, take your personal stuff, you know, and blast it everywhere. They praise you on your progress. And I just prefer this school over anything. If I ever was to get another degree, I would definitely go through pennfoster, because they're such an amazing academic school, and it's just an amazing experience. So I have been through a lot academically, but my dream of having a degree has overrun any obstacle that I've been through, because I'm not only proving it to myself that I can do this, but I'm proving it to those teachers and the faculty that made me feel like crap and stupid and idiotic that this was a dream of mine. I'm proving to them that I can do it and that they were wrong. I think it's absolutely disgusting that teachers think that they have that right. I don't know how it is today. Obviously, I was in school in the 90s. It was a totally different situation. But it absolutely destroyed my self-confidence. And I do not appreciate that at all. And I have seen several of my teachers, and they don't even recognize me, because I'm not the same 8-year-old kid that you thought you could just put in a corner. You know, if I don't like the situation, I'm going to let you know, and you're not going to tell me that I can't do something. I'm going to prove you wrong every step of the way, and I'm going to do a damn good job doing it. So, you know, I was super impressionable for those 10 years, but I've grown. I've done a lot of self-growth, and my dream is my priority. School is my priority until I get my degree, or actually it's a certificate. But I'm working really hard to prove to myself that I'm worth this, and then in turn my actions will speak louder than anything I could ever say. So that's pretty much it. Academically, it's been a struggle for me, just because people never believed in me except for my family, and I've had to prove myself over and over and over again. It's just the way that my cards are dealt. I have had to do this my whole life. So I hope that kind of brings you kind of insight why I take my schooling so seriously. I do everything around school. So if I were working or YouTube, I do everything around my school schedule because it's non-negotiable. I'm very, very, very dedicated to this because I want to not only take the time to really learn my what I'm studying, but when I get into the work field, I don't want to feel like I didn't learn anything and that I wasted my time and money. I want to make sure that I really, am focused into what I'm doing. So, the other thing I just want to say, in any student in general, don't let anybody tell you that you're not good enough and that you're not smart enough to be in school. Anybody and everybody can go to college. It doesn't matter what your trade is. It doesn't matter what degree you get. Anybody can go. You just have to find the right fit for you, whether it is online like pennfoster or it's, a place like an actual campus, a university. It doesn't matter where you go to school. Take advantage of it because we're very lucky here in the United States. We have this opportunity, but a lot of kids in other countries don't get this opportunity. A lot of people aren't allowed to go to school. So take advantage of it because we're very fortunate in this country. And yeah, never let anybody tell you that your dreams won't come true. Because the only way they're going to come true is if you pursue your dream and pursue it. If it's something that you thought you wanted and it's not, then just find a different passion of yours and make it a career. But school and education it's very important, and take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So that's it for today. If you guys would like a part 2, or if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments. And I think that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did really enjoy filming it. I don't talk about this a lot on my channel, but yeah, so there it is. Hope you guys enjoy, and again, if you're not already, subscribe. Don't forget to push the notification bell so you guys are notified every time I upload a new video. And as always, my social media is linked down below. So make sure you do follow me because I do polls and I like to interact with you guys. This is really cool for me. So again, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.